Hello, everyone. Hey. Welcome. So excuse the glasses, but light has been bothering my eyes lately, so it was suggested that I wear glasses for a while. Good morning. Good morning. So, let's get into it. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. So, thank you. So let's talk about it, guys. What's going on? What is going on? Because I know that you can feel the energy. A lot of you have been sending me emails going, Priestess May, my spirit guides have gone silent. My ancestors have gone silent. What's going on? Did I do something wrong? So a lot of you have been struggling with doubting yourselves because your spirit guides have gone silent. And here's the thing. When your spirit guides go silent, it's because it's time for you to learn something. It's time for us to learn something. For those of you asking about the shades, it's because light has been bothering my eyes lately, so I'm wearing the shades today. I apologize, but it is what it is. So you've been feeling the energy. Your spirit guides have been quiet. You're not really sure what's going on, why they are not talking to you. You think that something's wrong with you. Okay? But the reality is that your spirit guides are preparing you. Your spirit guides are at war. So many of you are children of the same spirit guides, the same ancestors. And your spirit guides are currently at war. That's what's happening. They're at war. The light versus the darkness is at war. And the war is coming to an end. Okay? Now, we started this month with a lunar eclipse that started us in the month of December in darkness. And what that lunar eclipse is doing is making us look inward and forcing us to shatter our illusions, to shatter our preconceived notions of who we are and who others are based on what they look like, what they do for a living, what we believe in, the preconceived notions of who is saved and who isn't saved based on their religious affiliation. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of people are wrong. We are preparing. Spirit asked me to prepare you with a daily message between now and December 21st. December 21st, we have a planetary movement happening of Saturn and Jupiter moving into the sign of Aquarius. Saturn being the planet of limitations, of task makers, of keeping it in the box, right? Of control of your reality. And the planet of Jupiter being the planet of expansion, the planet of prosperity, of abundance, of overflow, of abundance, right? Like when we look at Psalm 23, my cup shall runneth over. So December 21st we have that planet of Jupiter that literally represents your cup running over. Okay? And we have Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius. For many years, astrologers have said that the age of Aquarius has already started. But for me, this is actually the beginning, the final end of the age of Pisces. If you know that the age of Pisces was the age of religion, mostly known as the age of Christianity. That's why Christianity uses the fish as its symbol, right? Now, that doesn't mean it's the end of Christ. It simply means that it is the end of Christianity and its religious format, moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of expansion, of healing, the age of collectiveness, the end of separation and the forced collectivity of humanity. So what's going to happen December 21st? December 21st, we are forced to elevate our energy. We are forced to elevate. And many of our spirit guides are elevating to that energy already. So December 21st, as Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius, we are forced as a collective to let go of our differences and to embrace our similarities for the purpose of our own survival. We are forced to see that we are one, even though we are individuals, we are one. And if as one we cannot perform, then as individuals we will fall. So what does that mean? That means that we have to start to shed all of our preconceived notions about ourselves and about others, and evaluate during this shadow period, what do we believe because others told us to believe it, or what do we believe because that is the truth that speaks within our hearts. Okay, we are forced to elevate to the fifth dimension. Remember, we've been talking about the great awakening. Okay. We are forced to either elevate to the fifth dimension of love and unity, or we will be left behind. Meaning that those who awakened will feel as if they are living in a completely different world, whereas those who are asleep will be in the energy of hatred and fear, and the third and fourth dimensional energies of desperation and imprisonment. So, what do we do to prepare for this great awakening? We must shed, like a snake sheds its skin, and allow for the change to happen within ourselves on a molecular level, and stop looking at one another as individual races or individual peoples, and start looking at one another as one human race. Okay? If you already feel this way, you don't have to worry. You won't have anything to worry about when December 21st comes. But if you don't feel this way, you may be pushed and forced and pulled in many directions that are going to test you. I'm just a messenger. So if we don't stop looking at one another as different races, different peoples, and realize that the land belongs to no one, that the land belongs to everyone, realizing that no one has claim on any land or any ocean, because all the land and all the ocean belong to one ultimate creator, and she is the only one who has a claim to every land, to every ocean, and no peoples have claims to any land or any ocean. Wake up. What do? We purge ourselves of the preconceived beliefs. The Star card, the Aquarius season coming in during the King of Wands, during the last day of Sagittarius. And for many will bring the gifts from the ancestors. The inheritance of those who have done the work will come. Many of you say she. Yes, there is an ultimate creator because God was created from the womb of a woman. We are on Mother Earth. We survive off of Mother Earth. There is an intergalactic goddess that rules over us from the outside. And there is an intergalactic God that rules over us. But we have to remember that the earth belongs to the mother goddess. And that being associated with a particular religion, if your heart is dirty, will not save you from when the time comes for all of us to meet our Creator. It is our hearts that will save us, because it is our hearts that will be weighed. So we have to purge that which is heavy, which is holding us back. And when I say that, I mean we have to purge the feelings of lack. So today, Spirit wants us to focus on, what do we feel that we are lacking? Are we lacking financially? Do we feel like we're lacking financially? Do we feel like we're lacking spiritually, emotionally, mentally? Where is the lack mentality focused on for you? Because if you don't release this, this will weigh you down in the time of the ascension, in the time of the awakening. And it will weigh you down from receiving your gifts from your ancestors, from your spirit guides. Receiving that ultimate paradise that we have been waiting for. The earth cannot heal if we do not come together, because she is our mother, and our mother can never heal when her children are fighting. When your children are fighting one another and killing one another and spreading one another's blood, how can a mother be happy with that? So we must realize that when we feel that we are in lack, we feel the need to fight with those who have what we perceive we should have. And then what happens is that we activate the evil eye curse against ourselves. We activate that evil eye curse against ourselves, and then we become more lacking, and then we become more angry and more bitter, and we get weighed down even more from our process of ascension. Ascension does not have to come after death. Ascension can happen in this lifetime. That is why we all incarnate. That is why we have multiple lifetimes. And until we realize the truth of the fact that we are all one, we will forget that we are reflections of each other. And that everyone in your life is a reflection of you. We are looking at mirrors. Maybe that's why Spirit had me wear mirrored glasses today. We are looking at mirrors that reflect each other, that reflect ourselves in each other. See that? See the bird looking into the mirror? When you understand the concept of past lives, when you understand the concept of multiple incarnations, you realize that you were once the slave and the slaver. Let me repeat that again. When you understand, when you're at a spiritual elevation, to understand that there has been multiple lives that you have lived, you will understand that you have played both the victim and the villain in many lives. So what we have is us looking at ourselves in these reflections and being upset with the reflection that we see. Because we have forgotten our true nature. Our true nature is spirit. Our true nature is energy. And energy does not care what vessel holds it, as long as it has a vessel to ride. So here we have all these reflections. A picture of joy that comes when we release the belief that things are lacking. Because things cannot be lacking in a universe that is working in your favor. The God and Goddess have created a universe that works for us, not against us. And your thoughts after the 21st of December, your thoughts will manifest much stronger and much quicker than ever before. Because many of us are getting our magic back. There's our magic. It's returning. So our magic is returning to us. So that means that our thoughts will manifest faster than before. So if we don't let go of the preconceived notions of that box, what we'll constantly do is feel that we are lacking, and then continue in this infinity curve of activating the evil eye curse against ourselves because we think that we are lacking. Not understanding that we have the magical ability to manifest things around us, including the good and the bad. It is extremely important that we do not dismiss our feelings between now and December 21st. It is extremely important that we deal with our feelings. Why am I feeling this feeling of hatred? Why am I feeling this feeling of envy? Why am I feeling this feeling of resentment? Why am I feeling this sadness? Why am I feeling these heavy things that are holding my heart down? So remember that to get your gifts, you must first learn to respect yourself and love yourself. And then you'll be able to love others and ascend to the fifth dimensional energy of love and acceptance and abundance and prosperity. And that Jupiter will come in and go, boom, here's the gift from the universe, the gift of paradise that Spirit has promised. Remember earlier in the year, I was reading from the book of Revelations, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. But that's okay, because the crazy people are the ones that actually know what's going on. So the book of Revelations talks about the apocalypse, the 4 horsemen riding, and the beginning of the end. So what if I told you that the apocalypse and the Ragnarok are not an end, but they are a cycle of death and rebirth? The apocalypse and the Ragnarok, as described in Norse mythology, are actually an end and a rebirth. That doesn't mean that the entire world has to die, but there is a large sum of souls that chose to leave the earth. Large sum of souls. And there are even more souls that are choosing to leave the earth. One of those souls included my grandfather. So that's why I can tell you this, because I know what I'm talking about. Because my grandfather chose to leave this earth during this apocalypse. And to assist me and assist others in their ascension during this time. Because the apocalypse we are seeing here is the end of Pisces and the beginning of the age of Aquarius, the age of healing. And in order to heal, we must purge that which has held us back, that which does not work. We have killed each other. We have harmed one another. We have imprisoned one another for centuries in history. And that is not working anymore. That is no longer going to work moving forward. And if we continue to hold on to these beliefs that we own the earth and that we own and that we are entitled to things and not realize that everything belongs to everyone, that no community, no race, no sector of peoples have ownership over the earth. Only Mother Earth does. And she gave it to us as a gift to nourish us. And in turn, we must learn to nourish her in return. That which you give, you shall receive in return. So, that is why I said, that is the infinity loop here in the Two of Pentacles. That which you give, you receive in return. So if you give love, you give abundance, if you give understanding, if you give comprehension, unity, you receive in return love, abundance, comprehension, unity. If you give hatred, if you give anger, if you give resentment, if you give all the negative things to others and to yourself, that is what you will attract. If you give fear, you will attract fear. And don't get me wrong, there will be many that will be left behind, that will not elevate to the fifth dimension. I cannot tell you yet what that's going to look like, what it's going to look like for those who don't elevate to the fifth dimension. I cannot tell you that. But I can tell you for those who do elevate to the fifth dimension, it will be like you are living on a different earth, on the same earth as those who are not elevated to the fifth dimension. You will look at those who are not elevated to the fifth dimension and go, what in the love of God are you thinking? Because there will be a sense of knowing in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, that will rise above anything that anyone can say to bring doubt and fear and division into you. Because you're going to realize that you are a lion. And for so long you've been told that you're supposed to be a sheep. That you're a sheep. That you're supposed to do what the media says and what other people tell you to do and how other people tell you to act and how other people tell you to feel and how other people tell you to think. And then you're going to realize, wait a minute, I'm not a sheep. I have the ability to think and to act like a lion does. To let go of emotions and release emotions, you have to allow yourself to feel them. So write it down. Sometimes we don't realize what we feel until we go through every person, through every situation in our lives, and we analyze it, and we sit down, and we go into that dark shadow, and we pull it out on paper and realize, oh my God, the reason why my mother and I don't have a good relationship is because of this, and this. I need to release that, and I need to let that go. That doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with the person, but you have to set yourself free. Actually, Kiki, I don't have an answer for that question at this moment. I just asked Spirit, and they said now is not the time to answer that question. Just focus on the work to get to the 5th dimension. Focus on the faith. You don't have to worry. If your true intent is to love, you will reach that intent. When you reach the 5th dimension, there will be a sense of caring for everyone, but feeling extremely lightweight. Right and release, correct. We must learn to be like a king of swords and conquer our own thoughts as well, remembering that our thoughts create emotions, which create actions, which create reality. And with that will come the gifts that God has promised. Remember that last time I went live, I did a channeling from the goddess. And they are here. They are taking action in our favor. But we must choose to change, because they have to still respect our free will. The beings of light have to respect our free will. So we have to have a free will choice. And my candle just popped when I said that. A free will choice to change. Remembering that no one else is responsible for your ascension, and you are not responsible for anyone else's ascension. Just like you're not responsible for someone else's happiness, and someone else is not responsible for your happiness. That is on you, and that is on them. Because when you are in an energy of confidence in who you are, in what you want, and who you, and what you love, you do not have to worry about anything else around you. Your fortune will change in your favor. And that which God and Goddess have promised will be delivered in your life. And there will be many people that are just waking up December 21st. So do have empathy for those who are just waking up, who will join the spiritual communities, and whom will feel like they need assistance from others because they are completely lost. Many will feel lost, which is why many light workers are receiving their gifts to help. But in order to help others, we have to help ourselves first. In order for me to heal others, I have to heal. In order for me to be able to continue to help others, I had to take some time to mourn my grandfather and to do the work that it took to let him go, to allow him to move forward in his ascension. Someone asked a question about, what about negative people? Okay. How about we change the perception that they have any effect on us? If we release the power that negative people have over us, we no longer are affected by them, and it's as if they no longer even exist within our reality. Because what we are doing here is we are preparing for a dimensional shift. So if someone's in the third dimension, they will fall away from you. You will start noticing people that you used to hang out with you a lot, and all of a sudden they're just falling away because you're in a different dimensional shift. You're in a different dimension than they are. So it's hard for someone to connect when you are in a different dimension. So what we would focus on is finding other souls that have released their ego and are in the fifth dimensional space of unconditional love and empathy. We don't hold them back. They hold themselves back. Remember that we can choose to not have an effect on someone else, and we can choose to not let someone else affect us. So when we are in a fifth dimensional place, those who are in the third dimension cannot affect us. So those people who are doing dark magic, for example, when you're in a fifth dimensional state, when someone is doing dark magic, it cannot reach you. And those who are in the fifth dimension don't even have to worry about those who are in the third and the second dimension. So what you'll notice is those who are in lower vibrations, because it's not a ladder. It doesn't mean that because you're in the fifth dimension, you're better than a person who's in the third. No. What it means is that when you're in the fifth dimension, you have ascended to a different vibration. Okay? To a different vibration of understanding. Oh, someone asked if you can hold back those who've passed. Yes, you can. We can hold back those who have passed if we hold sadness and grief towards their death. Now, if we're just honoring our ancestors, we're not holding them back. But if we are honoring those who have passed, our loved ones, and we have not dealt with the process of healing the grief, when you hold grief towards their death, you hold them back. Because when someone passes away, we must get to an understanding, a comprehension that they are with us still. They are still with us. They are just in a different form of matter. And part of their soul may get reincarnated or may elevate to a spirit guide format. Yes, some people have already elevated to the fifth dimension. And you can fall back down if you allow yourself to be dragged back down to the third dimension. But you'll notice that things in the third dimension will be so much easier for you if you allow yourself to elevate to the fifth dimensional energy. Because when you allow yourself to elevate to the fifth dimensional energy, things in the third dimension, such as money, love, health, they just flow to you naturally. So start today with purging your emotions. And then I would say start to look at your diet and what is weighing you down in your diet as well. Try to eat things with life, vegetables, fruits. And other workers will tell you that you don't have to eat that way, but I can promise you from experience that your energy, your vibration is much higher. Your spiritual protection is much higher when you allow yourself to ascend to a higher dimension. Purge your negative emotions. Work on it every day. Meditate and eat healthier. Take care of your body. Take care of the vessel that God has given you. So allow yourself to purge your emotions, to heal, to feel lightweight. Dance, sing, purge, change your diet. Allow yourself to be filled with life. Because until very recently, many of us were the walking dead. We were walking around dead and unaware. And the dead had more life than the living. Yes, the solar flares may still cause some visions. There have been some solar flares that happened in November, and there is predicted to be some solar flares that same day as we transition into the age of Aquarius, with Jupiter and Saturn moving into the sign of Aquarius. So the solar flares may bring up those emotions for you violently if you don't take care of them prior to the 21st of December. So if you don't want those emotions to come up that violently and unexplainably, I can't speak, without explanation, out of nowhere, we don't want that happening, while we're driving to work or something, or while we're at work in the middle of everyone there. So take the time now before the 21st to purge those emotions that could come up because of the planetary movements and the solar flares that are predicted to be happening December 21st. Children are already in the vibration of the fifth dimension. We are the ones that drag them down with our societal views and limitations. Teenagers are already feeling that shift. They've already felt that shift. A lot of teenagers already work from in a different vibration. It's really going to affect more those people who are in the late teens and up, because we have to shed a lot of training. So I leave you with that. Work on shedding your emotions. Look at your diet and see how you're eating, how it's weighing you down, how it's keeping you low vibrational. Remember that everything in excess is toxic. So, much love and blessings to you all. See here, there's a question. Miguel, I would suggest booking a consultation. So, as a last note, actually, because someone just asked me a question that requires consultation, I was trying to retire from doing private readings, but Spirit has asked me to re-sign up. The list came out again of those Spirit light workers that have to re-sign up. So I'm back on it. So there will be some availability for readings. It will not be as many as I used to have before. I highly suggest to use the times for readings for your spiritual development. If you have questions for Spirit about your career or spiritual development, how to better your relationships, to come with a focus to utilize the time effectively. Okay. Now, I also opened up, and I'm extending the sale, the Cyber Monday sale for the tarot course. If you're interested in learning how to read tarot, you can still get that in my link in bio. I'm extending it till Friday, and then it's going to go back to its regular price. Also, for those of you who don't know, I do have a VIP group where we will be discussing different magical topics every month, and there will be live and pre-recorded videos in that VIP group. To join the subscription, go to my link in bio. What else? Oh, and the High Priestess May collection. There are a few items left. If you still want to get some things for the holidays, there's a few items left. The next full restock will not be until the spring. So that's just all the updates that I wanted to give you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will see you for tomorrow's message of the day towards ascension. So let's see what Spirit has for us. Many blessings.